Today we're working on a 2010 Volvo V50, equipped with the 1.6-liter Euro 5 diesel engine, widely used in Peugeot, Citroën, Ford, and Volvo models. This vehicle failed the Belgian technical inspection due to excessive particulate emissions, so today we'll be replacing the DPF filter. With the air filter housing already removed, we can now disconnect the intake pipes and turbo air ducts to create more working space and improve access to the DPF assembly. This turbocharger pipe is secured by an additional bolt located beneath the oil filter housing. Once released, the pipe can be repositioned to create better access to the DPF assembly and surrounding components. We loosen the clamps on the remaining turbocharger hoses, disconnect the hoses, remove the upper heat shield section, and disconnect the electrical connector from the throttle valve assembly. We also disconnect the electrical connector from the throttle valve assembly. In addition to the mounting bolts already removed, the throttle valve and pipe assembly is secured by another hidden 13mm nut located underneath the unit, which can sometimes be difficult to notice during disassembly. On this side of the assembly, we only have a standard hose clamp, while the lower 13mm mounting nut has already been removed earlier. Once released, the assembly can be disconnected to provide additional working space around the DPF area. We also removed the second turbocharger pipe running across the top of the exhaust manifold. It is secured by two additional 8mm bolts on the side, which can be accessed and removed using an extension. Once released, the pipe assembly can also be removed. We then disconnect the electrical connectors for the DPF system sensors, including the exhaust gas temperature sensors and the differential pressure sensor mounted on the filter assembly. All sensor connectors are carefully released before removing the DPF unit. At this stage, we disconnect the DPF assembly from the exhaust section underneath the vehicle. The connection is secured with 15mm fasteners, and after applying penetrating oil, the bolts surprisingly came loose without excessive force despite the heavy corrosion. We now remove the two lower 13mm mounting nuts securing the DPF assembly. After that, the mounting studs themselves also need to be removed using an E5 socket on both sides. This step is necessary because there is not enough clearance to slide the DPF assembly forward and off the studs while they remain installed. Removing both the nuts and the studs provides the additional space required for extraction. With the lower mounting bolt already removed, the turbocharger pipe can now simply be moved aside to improve access to the DPF assembly. The lower fasteners for the upper heat shield could not be removed, so instead of wasting additional time, we carefully bend the shield outward to gain access to the V-band clamp connecting the DPF filter to the turbocharger. Once enough clearance is created, the clamp can be loosened using a 16mm wrench. The DPF assembly can now be carefully removed from underneath the vehicle without damaging the surrounding components. All heat shields, sensor connections, and surrounding components can now be transferred onto the new DPF unit before the reinstallation process begins. We can also see a slight design difference between the original and the replacement DPF filter. On the original unit, the pressure sensor pipes connect to external threaded fittings extending from the housing. On the new DPF filter, the threaded connections are integrated directly into the housing itself, and the pressure pipes screw internally into the built-in ports. However, this does not create any installation issues, since the updated pressure pipes are supplied together with the replacement DPF assembly. After transferring all necessary components, the new DPF assembly can be carefully positioned and reinstalled back into the vehicle. The DPF assembly is then carefully aligned with the turbocharger. The V-band clamp is installed back into position, and the fastening bolt is tightened securely. All components are reassembled in the same order and position as during disassembly. All sensor connectors, including the DPF temperature sensors and related electrical connections, are then reinstalled back into their original positions. We then reinstall the upper heat shield and refit all intake pipes and hoses back into their original positions. The entire repair took approximately 5 hours to complete. The following day, the vehicle successfully passed the Belgian technical inspection. Emission levels were extremely low after the DPF replacement, and the inspection also confirmed that the new DPF assembly had been installed correctly. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. In the future, I plan to publish even more interesting and educational repair videos, and I hope this video was helpful and useful to someone.